Hey, what's up guys? This is Dom from MacMixing.com, and today I'm going to show you how to light up your iPhone, and by that I mean the Apple logo on the back here. This is a light mod kit from the guys over at lightmyiphone.com, and so go check that out. You can purchase it right on their website, and so you can get this cool iPhone light mod like I'm going to have as soon as I install this. This is the first time I've ever installed one of these. I'm going to learn the process just as you guys would, and I'm going to show you how to install it too. So in case you want to know how to install it when you buy one, or in case you want to learn before you buy it, you can find it here. So first here though, we have all the tools that you need to do this. They give you the tape that you need, the forceps, and the screwdrivers all right here in this package. Now in the next package here, this is the box that has the lightmyiphone.com. Go check them out, you guys. lightmyiphone.com. There's a link in the description down there, so go check that out, and let's open this up here real quick. So what you see when we open this up here is we have the iPhone back here, and it looks exactly like my other back that is on my iPhone right now, except this little part is transparent and it looks blue. That's just because there's a sticker on it behind in the back here that you have to peel off when you're getting ready to install it. So that's the back. They say it's a little thinner than the actual iPhone back, but that's because of the space required to do it. And then in here we have, let's see here. Well, I'll just show you. In here we have, this is the light panel. It's really small. There's my thumb. There's the light panel. Really small, couple wires coming out of it. So that's what we're going to put on there to make it light up the iPhone. So we're going to get into this installation here. Alright, so you want to get everything out of its package and kind of get everything organized and ready to go. I would say that organization is probably the smartest thing you can do throughout this process. Make sure you have all your pieces together. We have our pieces of tape, and then we have our little forceps here that we can use to grab small objects with and kind of help us through the process. And then we have our two types of screwdrivers, the pentalobe screwdriver and the Phillips head screwdriver. And it just depends on what your iPhone's bottom takes for this screwdriver. All the screwdrivers internally are Phillips though. So we want to unscrew these two screws on the bottom here, and this is going to allow us to take the back off of our iPhone to get the process underway. Me personally, I like to keep things really organized, so I drew these little boxes with the title at the top just to help me keep things organized and put the screws in. So you want to take the back and just push up on it really lightly until you see a little gap. From there, you'll be able to just easily pull the back off of the iPhone, and it'll expose the guts, I guess you would say. So then we want to make sure we power off the phone. It's probably really important because we don't want to screw up anything or short anything out. Just go ahead and power it off. Take a minute or so. It won't be very long, I promise. Once it's powered off, we can go ahead and start. So now what we want to do here is we want to go ahead and unscrew the battery connector. That's going to be these two little screws right here. We just want to take those little screws out so we can open up the battery connector and unplug our battery or unhook our battery. Just take those little screws off, really small, really easily, and make sure that you keep them organized because they are certain sizes, so they do go in certain places. So once you start to get those screws off, the next step is kind of difficult for some people. Some people it comes off really easily, but you want to take off the little silver bracket that you unscrewed those screws from, and that's your battery connector. So you just want to pry it off with like your thumbnail or the forceps or whatever until you hear a little pop. You'll hear it pop off. Don't worry, you didn't break anything. But you just want to pry it up with your fingernail, nice and easy. Once you hear that little pop, you're going to see this little bracket move. We want to grab this teeny little bracket. It's a little black and gold bracket. It's really, really small, as you can see right here. It's really teeny. So we want to put that aside and save that. Do not lose that because we need to put that back when we're done. It's very important. So put it in a safe spot. And kind of organize your stuff again. Alright, so once we have that, we just want to make sure we pull that battery connector away from the connection point. Just make sure it's, tucked off to the side, nice and neat, nothing's touching. We want to make sure that it's completely away so that there's no chance that the battery could come connected while we're, touching some wires somewhere and we short something out. That's the whole goal in this thing, is to try not to short your phone out. So just be patient, you guys, and it'll work out. So now we want to unscrew all 4 of these little screws right here. This is our EMI shield. Just go ahead and unscrew all these little screws here. Just take them off one by one. You don't have to force it really hard or turn it really hard. If you have to turn something hard, reevaluate the situation, because you'll strip these screws. They strip so easy. I've done it before on little screws like this. So just be careful, take them out one by one, and also be sure to remember which screw you took from what hole, because they are different sizes, you guys, and if you get them mixed up, you might break something or strip out a screw hole when putting them back in, which would be very bad, because that wouldn't allow you to put your phone back together, which could cause some major problems. So once we get the screws out, we're going to remove the EMI shield. Now, just take the forceps and kind of loosen it up around the sides. Just kind of get it loose so you can stick your fingernail under there and grab it really easily, because it does bend easy. So go ahead and just pull it up and out, just like that. And once we get the EMI shield out, we will be able to proceed to the next step. So now we're going to remove these 2 little connectors here. There's a long one and there's a short one, a little over half the long one size, and you can see them right here. Let me focus. We have a long one and we have a short one. We have 2 of them right there, those 2 connectors. We want to pry those off, and I know pry sounds bad, but we want to take them off. So just take your fingernail under there and kind of pop them off. You'll feel it pop off, and just move it off to the side like that. Just make sure that it's kind of folded over. Don't fold it too hard, just bend it back a little bit. And then we want to take the next one off and fold that up too. So you can see that we have both of these little connectors up and like kind of folded off of the board there. So now we want to take our light panel here, take it out of its package, and we want to prep this bad boy to get on there. So we want to take the red wire here and we want to pinch it into a little Z shape. Now this is going to be kind of difficult, guys. Have patience again. We want to make a little Z shape because this is going to ensure that we get the proper connection on the connecting point. This is totally crucial in this installation, so make sure you get it formed into a Z. It's going to take a minute. And just use the forearms to kind of mold it and form it into a Z shape so that you have a middle bar in the middle of the Z that you can touch to that connection point, just like that. Alright guys, trust me when I tell you, it is hard to make that little Z, but if you have patience and you just take your time, you can get a pretty snazzy looking Z going on there with that wire. But so just be very patient, you guys, because it is really difficult to make that Z, but you can get it if you're patient and don't rush it, or else you might break the wire. So now we want to take the bronze wire and we want to make a little hook out of the end of it. Just a little hook so we can put it underneath a screw later on in the process. So just take it, grab it, and kind of bend it around the forceps there. And it'll make a nice little hooky shape that we can use to, like I said, put underneath a screw. Alright, so now once we got all the wires squared away for the light panel, we need to cut out a teeny little piece of tape to cover those little teeny black thing right there in the middle. But you don't want to cover that silver thing. You just want to cover the black thing. So we have to cut a teeny little piece of tape just to cover the center there. Right there in the center, that little teeny black piece. And be careful, don't cover that. Don't cover that goldenrod or that little connection point. Just those teeny 8 dots right there. That little teeny black chip where the corner of the tape is touching. You want to cover that whole little black piece right there. So we're going to cut the tape. Patience, guys. Patience. Now, as you can see, I cut the smallest little piece of tape. So we're going to cover that up right over that black thing right there.
So just kind of get it nice and positioned right over those 8 dots. You don't want to mess with the connection point at all. You want to put it over the 8 dots. And so be careful. Make sure that you get it right over the 8 dots and not the connection point.
Now we're just peeling off the back of that tape there. Now we want to make this little Z end right here sit right on that connection point. Once again, slowly and carefully position that. So this is how you want it to look. Just like that, so it's like perfectly sitting right there on that little connection point, not touching anything else. Just that Z is kind of locked in there on that connection point, and that's exactly how you want it to look, you guys. So be careful with that. Have patience. That's like seriously the biggest thing to this whole mod is have a crap ton of patience. Alright, so now we want to put back this little teeny bracket that we took off a long time ago when we took off the battery. It's a teeny little black and gold bracket. It looks just like this right here, that little guy. So we want to secure that back into its original position here. Put it right back to where we found it. Then we're going to push the battery bracket back down. Be careful with this, you guys, because you can definitely screw the hell out of your phone if you don't put it on right. If you have to force anything too hard, you're not doing it right. So just make sure that you're not forcing anything. So now that we have that back connected down there, the battery connector, we want to go ahead and put our screws back in. So just do it very lightly, guys. They don't take a lot of pressure to get in. You barely have to do it. Once you feel it stop screwing, or you'll screw up your screw. So there, now we have that all screwed back in and back together. Alright, so now we want to slowly stick another teeny little piece of tape on the Z end where we connected that at. So we need to cut out another piece of tape here. Just a little teeny piece. It's about the same size as the other one. There we go. And we want to push down that Z on the connector and have the tape hold it down. So if it came off like mine did, just make sure you move it and push it back down right into place. There's not a whole lot of room for error when you're installing this, so don't make an error. That was really difficult, but we got that on there, and we have this tape right over the Z that we put on there. So just make sure the wire's not touching anything, you guys, seriously. Alright, you guys, now we are going to push back down our little connector pieces, which are these two little guys that are sticking up, like that little guy right there, and the other little guy. We're going to push those back down and connect them again. Alright, so there we go. We pushed down those two pieces right there, and now everything's kind of wired in. Now we're going to take some of this tape and we are going to make a little tube out of it. So I'm going to cut this in half here. So I just take off both sides and we are going to roll this up. It's like a little tube, just like this. Very small, very easy. Now we're going to take this little piece of tubey tape that we made out of some of the 3M double-sided tape, and we're going to apply that in the middle of those two connectors. So we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to put it right in between those two guys right there. And now we are going to attempt to power on the phone. So you see we have our Apple logo there. We do have power indeed. Alright, so there we go. We're all good. We have service. We have phone working. Nothing's dead. So now, when we connect the bronze cable to the steel frame and put pressure down, everything should be working. We have our phone unlocked. You see that when we touch it to the metal frame, we get power. You can test it just by putting it on there, just like that. So now that we know we have that good to go, we're ready to proceed on to the next step. We're going to go ahead and attach the EMI shield back on there, the initial metal plate that we took off in the beginning, which is this guy right here. So just put it back on exactly how you took it off and make sure you put the screws in the right places. It's really easy to confuse where they go. And if you have to force this, man, you're doing something wrong. Like I said, don't force it. If you have to force it, something is not in the right spot, and you will inevitably break your phone. So don't force anything, and try not to let that wire touch anything. And it's probably best to power off your phone again, just in case. And go ahead and push down this EMI shield, just like that. Now we're going to put the screws back in the exact same spot that we took them from initially. Like I said, you guys, you don't have to screw it on really tight. It's not a strength test or whatever. Just screw it on there so it's not loose.
And I can't stress this enough, you don't have to turn these screws very tight.
And also, you guys, just make sure that this wire is on a screw on the middle lining. I'm going to connect it to this one right here because I'm not 100% sure where that screw is connecting. I don't want to short out anything. So I'm going to connect it to a screw on the middle lining, and I'm actually going to do it to this one that's right there. So we're going to unscrew this one right here. Pull up the screw, place the wire there, put the screw back on. Just screw it down so you have that wire nice and tight like that. So it's touching the metal frame. That's all it's got to do, you guys. It creates a ground. And so now I'm going to tuck this little plastic piece of paper back under there so that the wire doesn't rest on any metal components. And there you go. So now we can continue with installing the rest of the light mod. Alright, so now for the final step to the installation here, we are going to take our back and we are going to pull it out. We're going to take this little blue sticker off right here. It doesn't need to be there. And we just need to make sure that we're going to tape down this light panel in the right spot. So we're going to pull off that sticker, pull off the back protective coating, and we just want to line that up so that we're putting that in the right spot. So that when you close this, all you're going to see is that, that little white part. That's wrong, obviously. So we need to make sure that we tape that up a little bit. So we're going to use this tape right here, and we're going to cut some small strips. And we're going to use that to fasten it down. And we're going to push it down into place. And like I said, make sure that you're putting it in the right spot.
And just continue to go ahead and line up the light panel and put your tape on there on all four sides. Make sure you get it all nice and snug so it doesn't move around at all and it's not going anywhere.
So there. Just like that. Nice and taped on there. Then we're going to take this and we're going to push it back down onto the iPhone, the case. And you don't want to push from the center, you guys. Push from the outsides because you'll crack this if you push from the center. So once again, like I said, just like you took it off from the top and push down the sides and slide it down. Make sure you have all the little brackets in on the side there. See how that one's out? That's bad. You want to make sure that you have all these pushed in here on all the sides. If the back won't go on easily, guys, take it off and move some tape around and try to get it right, because you shouldn't have to force it too hard on there. Alright, you guys, so once you slide the back on and you get everything into place now, like I have it, you should have this effect right here. A beautiful glowing Apple logo. And as you can see, my phone works fine. We have our nice pretty Apple logo on the back there. There's a little bit of light leakage right here. I'm going to think of some ways to maybe fix that. Maybe talk to the guys over at Light My iPhone and see what they think. But that doesn't really bother me a whole lot. It was a really snug fit to get this on here too, by the way. So be very, very patient through this whole process, and it will ensure that you have a nice little lit up apple on the back of your iPhone, just like your MacBook Pro if you have one. So just be careful, you guys. Don't rush it. Have patience, and everything will work out just fine. Thanks again, guys, for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. Please subscribe in this button right here. And our Twitter link is here. Our Facebook link is here. And thanks again, guys. This is Dom from MacMixing.com, and have a great day.